All right, guys, we're joined here for the Coaches Show. We call it The Den with Coach Seth Parr. Excited to have him here joining us. As always, first start with a special thanks to Adon Complete Air and Heating. If you're looking for any air conditioning or heating needs right now, that heating need probably is starting to ramp up as weather begins to change. So make sure to get those AC and heating services done and give Adon a call. Coach, this past Friday evening, you had a chance to be involved in something pretty special, inducted into the Plainview ISD Hall of Honor. Tell us a little bit about that experience and what does something like that mean for you?
You know, it was a shock. I was happy for my dad and my brother. I felt like they deserved it a little bit more than I did. They had a lot of wins at that place. I was part of a lot of losses, so I couldn't figure out how I was going in, but I guess they felt sorry for me. But it was very welcoming and very good to go back. Got to visit got to visit Ann's family and got to go see some friends. It's a very short period of time, and it was very good. You know, trying not to make a joke out of it, but you know, it was a good deal. Very appreciative of them for doing that.
Well, in terms of coaching, I don't know how often you think about this. I'm going to throw a word out there and let you talk a little bit about it, but do you think much about legacy? You know, I mean, there's a legacy ahead of you, right? I think you talk a lot about the influence that your dad's had on you, and obviously he's had on both of you guys that were there. So do you think much about legacy?
I haven't. I still think I'm still pretty young, but I guess I'm getting older.
Now, I'm not saying that, Coach.
Almost hitting that 5-0, but no, you know, you hope you leave an impact where people remember what you did and all that, but you can't control that. So, you know, I'm hoping the time I'm here and the time I'm at Anna that people will look back and say that was a really good job, or it touched a lot of people, or the people I've coached that hope that they're always welcome and always a group of people that are special to us and special to me, and know they can always, you know, come to me if they need something. So, you know, I guess if that's the legacy, your part, I do hope that's intact, and then I'm hoping that people can look back and say, well, how did they do it, and how were they successful, and how would they go back and how they do it, and then you know, that's part of it, and you know, I think we got a lot to prove that we were pretty good at.
So we have our final district game coming up of the season. It's this Thursday evening. To leave a legacy, you got to play the games, right? So this is the last regular season game. What should our fans expect? What are you guys thinking as you kind of roll into this game? Talk us through as you prepare.
We're just going to try to be as fast as we can, get sharp for the playoffs. This is an important event because this is something that it's our last home game, and something that we're bringing the youth out to, and hopefully they can see their guys that they look up to play. And you know, every time you play a game, it's meaningful, and it's something that you know, if you want to see some of these guys play their last game, they need to come to, and then we start a new season.
So talk a little bit about that. You've worked real hard at trying to create that culture with our younger players within the district, looking up to, or at least having opportunities to see these players that are especially on varsity and even sub-varsity. I think we've seen that as well. So what does having that kind of culture around Anna mean to you?
Well, I knew what it meant to me when I got to get somebody that I looked up to and wanted to be like. It gave me hope. It gave me a direction. It gave me something that look forward to, and that's all we want to do for our youth, is to make sure that we're giving something that they're excited for, and then maybe we put that in their vision, and when they're making a decision on what to do in life, or they're in a fork road and we're an option, hopefully they go our way.
Well, that's great, and I know that that's been something that's been spoken of a lot around this program, is the way that it is influencing the youth sports in our community, and I think it's done nothing but raise the bar for youth sports. Mm-hmm. And I think we see a product of that as these kids start to get older and they start coming into the school system. Mm-hmm. You see the byproduct of that kind of legacy. So I definitely think that's part of what you've accomplished here. Look, we're looking as the network. We're kind of looking ahead at the playoffs. I know we've got a regular season game ahead, but I'm going to ask you to kind of shift one more week with me for just a second. There's a real possibility of a three-way tie for second place in the district, in the fact that it's going to change maybe our opponent, right? Mm-hmm. So how much have you and your staff been paying attention to that race, that competition ahead of out in front of us there? And will you be posted up this Friday watching some Mansfield Summit unfold on this Friday night?
Well, it's going to happen on Thursday.
Oh, it is Thursday.
So
okay.
We'll find out, and we paid attention last week because we're looking at stadiums just like we are in the second week. Everybody always says don't look into the round. Well, what I've found out is I don't want to be trying to find a place to play on Saturday and Sunday of the week that we're playing them. It's better to plan and have something intact right now, and then and always take around 3 weeks in advance of what you're doing, and then try to make it as easy as possible. I think a lot of people get caught up where they're playing, like a stadium, big stadium. We want atmosphere over stadium, so we don't care if it's at the Star. In fact, I prefer, only reason I like the Star is weather, right? But I prefer, at a high school stadium instead of a big stadium, and I prefer a single town stadium over a multi-school district town, because then now we're dealing with all kinds of rules, regulations, passes, when we can get there, when we can't. So locker rooms, press box are pretty important. And then I like to go to places like high school stadiums, not multi-school. I'll hit on it again. It's just got so many rules put in place because they got safety stuff that they got to look at, which we do too. But when you get a bunch of committees in a room together, you come up with a bunch of ideas that sometimes you can't watch and maintain, and it just makes it hard. We're looking for easy, not hard. So it's not hard to play a football game. Let's not make it hard.
Well, I think there's multiple hats. You have to wear multiple hats as AD and head coach. Mm-hmm. And so obviously your coaching, attack is very different than the athletic director attack, because the logistics are an important part of your job. They're an important part of what has to happen. That's
why I think it's important that there is one person doing it, because when you have a separate, they don't understand what you need, what I need as a head coach, and what I know the head coach of the sports needs. You start thinking of it as cost efficient and all this other stuff. And really, we're about winning. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I'm cost efficient anyway, because high school stadiums are a lot cheaper than these other stadiums. But you also got to think about that as well. How are we going to get there and stuff like that? But, I think when people start putting price tags or start looking at it, well, you got to go back is, what is the mission? And the mission in Anna is to win. So what do we have to do to make that possible in the easiest way? And if it's, and then you got to think of band, you got to think of the cheer, you got to think of all these support systems, how they going to get there, and then when we played at the state championship game, I lost more friends off of passes than I did, I'd just rather go to Allen or rather go play at Joshua. I didn't lose any friends. Then I had to worry about parking passes, who was going to get in a suite, and all the stuff that I didn't even create.
Right.
But it was created for me, and then lost some people, friendships probably, and probably weren't really good friends anyway, over a pass that I didn't have any control over. They only gave me a certain amount. And so, I learned I don't want to lose friends over a banquet or a pass.
Yeah. Well, looking at that first week, having asked that question, does it matter to you? We've kind of been in a rhythm here at the end of this season playing Thursday games. Does a Thursday, Friday game either way?
I'd rather play, good questions today, by the way. I'd rather play on Friday than Thursday. A lot of people like to play on Thursday to give them a bonus day or whatever I'm trying to figure out, 20 years I'm trying to figure out this bonus day. Because
doesn't make much sense to
No, we'll get one more day to prepare, one more day to get ready. Well, if you break your ankle or break something, that one day is not going to matter. All right, the only thing maybe a head injury that you get an extra day, but you got to go Thursday, Friday. All right, so what you don't want to do is go Saturday, Thursday. All right, I'm saying all right a lot, but so Thursday, the first week, the only reason I don't want it is because it struggles getting. We have bus routes, so me and Dr. Duncan know how hard it is to get people transported to 7 o'clock games. It really needs to be 7:30 on Thursday because we're limited buses, so to get the band, the cheer, the trainers, and everybody there, we got to leave later, and we don't want them there. We don't want to look like we're like a ragtag group that's showing up after the first quarter, so that's big. So base a lot of decisions on some of that too.
All right, well, as always, we give you kind of the last word going in. Last home game. Right, seniors. There's a lot that goes into that last home game. A lot of these guys are going to be playing their last, home game here as well. Talk about this from that perspective. What do our fans need to do to come out and make sure that this is what it needs to be?
They need to come out, show up, and be loud, just like they did every game. And we need everybody there to cheer these guys on. They've won over 30-something football games in their career. It's good to send them out, in a good manner.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good fan support, it seems like, this year as previous years as well. Anna knows how to support their teams, and it's a lot of fun to watch that kind of happen every Friday, or as in this case, Thursday night.
That's right.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to seeing you guys out there on Thursday, and as always, we're praying the very best for your team and for you as you execute whatever game plan you've been led to lead.
All right. Appreciate you.
Thanks for your time, Coach.